Welcome to Outside with Clyde and a 5-day solo canoe trip in Algonquin Park, Ontario in mid-May of 2018. The start of the trip was delayed by 2 weeks, waiting for ice to clear the lakes, and I managed to launch the first day the park was opened and declared ice-free. I did a counterclockwise loop, crossing Cedar Lake at the Brent access point, paddling up the Petawa River into Catfish Lake, then up the Petawa River to Burnt Root Lake, down through Red Pine Bay, Lake Lemure, Hogan Lake, Small Phillips Lake, down the Madawaska River into Radiant Lake, then back up another section of the Petawa River into Cedar Lake. My first night I camped on Catfish Lake. Then the second night was on Hogan Lake, which wasn't my favorite site. And which definitely was my favorite was Phillips Lake on the third night. And then my fourth and final night on Radiant Lake. This video is part 2 of my trip and covers traveling from Hogan Lake to Phillips Lake on day 3.
Well, I'm just getting ready to break camp. And last job is to put out the fire. I realized I'm not much of a talker. I'm taking all this video and then I get back to the house and go to produce and there's no narration. I figured out that there's lots of narration going on in my head, but you can't hear that. So I need to do a better job of narrating out loud. Of course, that kind of defeats the purpose a little bit of being out here in solitude. But I guess if I'm going to listen to it in my head anyway, I might as well share it with you. Or at least share it with whoever's going to watch this video. It was the warmest night last night, in the 50s, I'm sure. Started to get a few mosquitoes. And the wind, it's only 7:30 maybe, and the wind is already showing itself, along with some rain. I haven't had any rain, and I'm very fortunate with the weather. The only complaint maybe is the high wind. It's prevented me from doing more fishing than I'd like. This wasn't a fishing trip, it was an outdoor trip with some fishing poles in case I got the opportunity. So I'm not disappointed about the fishing. The lake will give me a gift if and when the time presents itself. Well, I've been pretty fortunate, haven't had to paddle in the rain yet. And this is what a rainy Monday morning looks like in Algonquin Park, Hogan Lake. This pair of loons came by my camp very early. I just saw the far one eat a fish. I'm sure they're feeding, getting nice and fat before they lay their eggs. So did it fall and keep growing? Or it's a different species? Did it poke its head out to get sunlight? The far end of Hogan's Lake, actually, I forget what this is called. It's a bay on the map. This to be the last of open water for a while till I get to Phillips Lake. Oh, it's some interesting kind of scat. Full of grass. Well, I haven't had to deal with too much blowdown so far. This one, I think I might be the first one through this portage this season. This one I couldn't step over, and it was a bunch of branches and shit all in around this tree, so I cleared that out. So when I come back through with the pack, I can get through there. And I'm going to take the canoe over the top like this. A lot of cut trees on the ground. This must be a common blowdown section. I'm hoping the river current is a little less voluminous here compared to the Petawawa. It was a little scary in spots. Actually, made a lot of work going upstream, but probably was safer. Always have a look, make sure nothing left behind. Okay, here's the blowdown. Let's see how my little bit of clearing worked. Nice. I'm always cautious crossing rocks and terrain or slip. You could snap a leg if you twisted wrong. Well, that certainly feels different. Less weight on my shoulders, on my hips. I don't know if I like that. Looks like it could be there or there. I'm going to go that way so I don't have to cross the current. And if it's blocked, I can come up on the eddy side. Safer. Okay, watch the eddies and the wind. Got to be water flowing through here. As much volume is coming in. Yep. Swirl there, something under the bottom. Probably big suckers. This is a lot less volume than the Petawawa. Should be easy to navigate. They told me, suggested at the permit, that I stay on the portages, because they'd already had somebody dump in trying to run the rapids. Somebody that knows this river really well would know which ones. Wouldn't want to be the first. I think I'm gonna play it safe. I don't want to try and poke that in there and miss. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold up here. I'm probably making a bigger deal out of this than I have to, but I'm on my own. It's not worth. I could probably stroke that, but I'm a little bit crooked now. And step back in the canoe. Short 110 meter portage from Little Madawaska River to Little Madawaska River. Already brought the canoe through. We're going to get down to the beginning of the long portage. Portage. I got to make up my mind. What is it? Portage or portage? I guess I need a Canadian version and an American version. Since I'm kind of a bit of both now, I need to maybe come up with my own name. Portage. Portage. Bad shit happens. You're fine. Two bad things happen together. That's usually when disaster comes. So, life jacket on. What did I call this river? The Madawaska? The Madawaska? Maybe this is why I don't narrate. Okay, I'm gonna avoid this something here. All right, Clyde, pay attention. I hear rapids. There's the sign. I don't know if you guys can see it. You gotta watch this time of year too that they don't have a high water mark exit. I thought that might be what that is, but it's not. There'd be some kind of a tag. I don't know where I'm going to clear here. If you're going to smoke, please take your damn butts with you. Is it really that hard? I'm going to break down the rain gear. It's gotten quite nice. Warm. This is a long portage. It's posted $14.95. Hopefully the lack of bugs will continue. There's some more scat. Look at that last portage. It's got hair in it. That's hair. You can see I'm stripped down, or not stripped down, but I took my rain gear off, my extra smart wool, and put this on to carry the canoe. I'm got everything packed, ready to go. I'm going to snack later. It's only 10:30. I'm going to make sure I get the map out of the back of the canoe, put it on the paddle so it doesn't fall out on the portage. So I'm going to show you how I break up my portage. So this says $14.95. I'm guessing there's some elevation, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to say 20%, so that's 300. So it's pretty easy to calculate. 10% is just knock one digit off, so it's 149. I'll call it 150 times 2 is 300. That's about 1,500. Plus 300 is 1,800. So what am I feeling like today? I'm feeling like I could do 600 at a shot, so at least to start. So that's breaking it into thirds. So 3 segments. That's what 4 years of chemical engineering at the University of Toronto and an MBA will do for you. You can do that kind of highfalutin math and arithmetic. 293, 94, 96, 97, 99, 600. So it'll take a few extra to get up to the top of this hill. Take the canoe off. I go straight up, little leg action, straight arm it. I don't want to bend my arms too much. Straight arms, and then down onto the hip, or the thigh, sorry, and then gently down. I don't count both ways. It's no need, and I don't count with the second carry. It's with the pack. It's more just to gauge effort and break it up. You see a lot of groundwater. I just passed another patch of snow. These puddles still holding a fair bit of water. I don't think the frost has totally come out here yet. I know that because the thunderbox on all three of my campsites had ice at the bottom of them. So the rivers are high. You're still getting melt in the water table, or I would imagine the ground is holding a lot of water, which is slowly, as the spring wears on, will feed into the streams, the river, and then the lakes, and the levels will drop back to normal. What else? You'll see a lot of deadfall back in here and around the camps where people take videos. There's none of that because people have harvested all of it for firewood. But this is the normally how it looks, I would think. Around the portage there's probably a little extra because you've got the gap in the tree line a little bit. But I can see, I think I see the river soon. Of course, all these puddles and groundwater, all these little spots, that's where mosquitoes breed, and most of those puddles are still pretty cold, so the mosquitoes haven't been too bad. You can see some ice down in amongst the roots, which is a good thing. This portage would probably be buggy. The black flies are in the running water, so anywhere there's running water on the edges, the larvae, and I think the larvae hang out all winter. I'm not sure about that, but if not the larvae, then the eggs. And there's probably a magic temperature, water temperature, where they hatch, and then it's all hell for about a month. That's pretty cool. An old dead cedar. Looks like an old cedar. And a birch. Which it's seen its day. 2 generations of different species. Oh, here we come. Oh, it's a pack day. Gonna set the pace. That's just enough. Hips are sore. All right. One segment done, or if you're counting with my arithmetic, that's 1/3. Segment number 2. Good segment. 91, 92, 93, 95, 96, 97, 99, 600. Oh, that looks like a good spot. Set, straight up, lock, and then down. My first solo trip, I suffered on the portage. It's really mental. Once you get yourself in the right mental frame of mind, it's actually beautiful. It's part of the voyage, journey, whatever you want to call it, but it's part of the experience. And you actually do see a lot more interesting things. Okay, there's a couple loons mating. I'm gonna try and sneak in. It's kind of creepy, isn't it? Algonquin porn. They were fighting over the female. Looked like mergansers. Man, he was almost drowning that thing. I guess that's one way to prove your manhood. I think the junior rangers, this is their job. They build these. Oh, another black fly. They build these in the, hopefully in the fall. There's more ice still collecting back in there. Collecting, it's actually melting. Anti-collecting. So I came right through here. That's the path. Here's the path, portage. Goes up through there, but I just noticed this is an old logging road. Jeff's map probably shows it. They're good to know. I mean, if you're ever stuck, you could use it in a pinch. So, not sure what these are. They don't look like moose. Those look like dog, but it looks like a moose there. It's got that triangle. They're quite, yeah, definitely. There it is. So that's a moose. It's not a deer, way too big for a deer. You can see the points split. Average size. I've seen them much bigger. It's beautiful in here, isn't it? At least I think. So I think I was saying earlier, my first solo trip, I think it was September. Had an old canoe pack, about 75 pounds. I think I had all my fishing gear. And man, I suffered on those first couple portages. Actually, one really long one. And I had to change my mindset, and now I enjoy them. Of course, there's some physical challenge and pain, but it's you see things you don't see on the water. It's more life, well, not more, different kinds of wildlife in the woods compared to on the water. And here we are, back at the bag. See you on the next segment. I think that's the first trillium. I think that's a trillium. I'll have to check when I get home. That's a big loose track. Segment number 2 complete. Or 2/3. Or 0.67. Just in a mathy mood today. This was a little challenging. I'm not gonna record it with the pack so you don't hear me whimpering, but with the canoe it was a little hard to figure out the trail ahead of me. Wasn't immediately obvious. I think I came through here, yeah. Another challenging spot. Oh, we gotta have a look. gonna get me ready for tomorrow. I have a 3000. I think it's 3000. It's double the length of this one, at least, down to Radiant Lake. Did we pass the bag? I hope. Oh, there it is. Had to let you enjoy the end. It's awesome. Good job done. 3 segments. That was 760. So I was off 160. So 1800, 1960. 1960. So 1960, year I was born. So it's Tuesday night. Got to this campsite about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I've been doing my chores and cleaning, and I've already eaten my dinner. Got a great campsite or campfire going. Got a fair bit of wood, and I've been drying clothes. I'm going to show you a little bit. Well, first of all, boots got a little wet, so I was drying them in the sun, and I'm cleaning them out. It's important to keep the boots in good shape. You don't know what you're going to have to deal with on the front, but pretty good. I had them in the sun, drying out. Insole's dry, and I boiled some water and had a sponge bath, or I've got an old face cloth that I bring, clean up. Had dinner, had dessert, 2 freeze-dried meals. Just having a little herbal tea. So when I got to camp, I cut the wood first. And got water boiling for dinner. And actually I boiled it to get washed up first. Got my clothes from today hanging. I wear different socks on the trail than I do in camp. These are nice dry for sleeping in. And I got another pair of backups. I'll show you the socks in a minute. Same thing for sleeping. I got clean, relatively clean stuff that I keep just for sleeping. And tent set up in the back. Got some gear sorted out on the ground over there. Oh, that's good. Okay, here's my stuff drying on the line. Here's my socks. I've got these Fits socks on top of a liner. They're like a silk liner sock. Helps with blisters. So I wear those, and then that on top. My pack. That's that Algonquin Outfitters pack. I think I'll do a little review on that pack. That's been an unbelievable pack. And I got all my stuff in my plastic bag that goes inside the Algonquin pack. Food barrel over there. Got to figure out where I'm going to hang my stuff. And my tent. Drew's tent. It's awesome. Sets up quick. And I've got Christine's Nemo air mattress. I already aired out my sleeping bag. And there's Gord Downey in the hip. not playing so I don't get copyright infringement. And there's the beautiful fire. Spectacular. You can still hear the wind. It's been quite windy. I'm debating whether I want to try and fish a little bit. Maybe over there in the hidden away from the wind. That's my camp. I wish I could find the nail cutters. I had some clippers. Put them away so they wouldn't scratch everything. So I did a good job. Now I don't know where they are. So, good night. See you tomorrow.